everyone, Helen here. How are you today? I hope you're okay, and I am fine and very happy to be in my craft room and doing a bit of a crafty update, because I haven't done that for about 3 weeks, because we've had last couple of podcasts have been travel ones really, so I haven't been able to update you, so that's what I'm going to do today. Not with absolutely everything that I'm working on, but with some of the things. And I've got a few thank yous to say, and I've got a YouTube channel to chat about. And yes, so I'm going to tell you about a little update on the miniature haberdashery shop that I'm busy creating. And I'm going to tell you how I've been getting on with this new book that I bought, Victorian Housecats to Knit. You can probably just about see the tops of a couple of cats here beside me. And my Quilt-as-you-go project as well. So yeah, let's get on with it. So first of all, some thank yous before I forget. Thank you ever so much to anybody who suggested a quote that I could embroider onto my hair fabric panel I'm busy embroidering on and embellishing. That was really helpful. I still haven't decided what to put on. It's been set aside slightly for a couple of weeks because I've been working on the cats and the haberdashery shop mainly, with other things just occasionally fitted in between. So thank you if you suggested some quotes. There were some lovely ones, and yeah, I still can't decide, but anyway, I will decide. And thanks also to anybody who suggested or gave me embroidery tips. Some of you suggested particular videos I could go and look at on YouTube, so that was really helpful, and I have been and watched them. Can't decide still whether to try and make it realistic, so it looks like fur, or whether to go in for maybe just putting some patterns on. So somebody did suggest that as well. So yeah, I'll see. Next time I have it in front of me, I'll probably know what I want to do. So those are my thank yous. And I said I wanted to chat about a YouTube channel. So I am going to tell you about a YouTube channel that is brand new, but lots of you who watch me, I think, already watch Kayleigh. So Kayleigh had the YouTube channel Shadows at Midnight, and absolutely lovely, and I absolutely love watching her videos. She just shows a kind of gentle, ordinary family life with her 2 young children. There's lots of crafting goes on. The children are homeschooled, so there's lots of lovely activities that they get up to, and there's lots of nature, appreciating the little things in life, all things that resonate with me and with lots of you as well. The videos are beautifully made, and I just thoroughly enjoy watching. But Kayleigh had quite a problem, which I'm not going to go into, with YouTube and things, which effectively meant that she needed to start a brand new channel. And so she's been quickly building up all of her subscribers again. And I just wanted to say that if you haven't been to watch Kayleigh before, I think you might enjoy watching, and you might like to go over and support her. Kayleigh is a very, very talented lady. She's always coming up with her own crochet, knitting patterns or versions of things. She's really, really good at adapting things to be how she wants them to be, rather than simply following a pattern. I don't think she often uses patterns. She's just so good at making things just out of her head. She does that, and she's also a very good artist as well. I've talked before about her mindfulness book that you can buy on Amazon. I do strongly recommend that you go and take a look at Kayleigh's new channel, which I haven't even said the name of it, have I? A new channel is called Home Tea Knits, which kind of just sums up the channel beautifully. It's about home, having a nice cup of tea, and then knitting and other crafts as well. So yes, so there we go. And one final thing to mention about Kayleigh, and that's currently she's got a make along, and it's called the Spring into Scraps make along. I'll put the hashtag on the screen, and you just need to use little scraps of anything. So it can be scraps of wool, or it can be scraps of fabric, or whatever, really, anything that's a scrap that you're turning into some small items. And you can then either put it onto Instagram, or put photos onto Instagram, should I say, and or email Kayleigh with your photos. And I think that is running until the middle of June 2025. Always try and remember to say the year in case you're watching this in a couple of years' time or something. So I have already submitted a couple of photos, and I'm making a lot of things with little scraps at the moment because of my miniature haberdashery shop. So yes, I have a few things to submit, but yeah, anyway, maybe more of that another time. Although you'll see some of the haberdashery things shortly. So what next then? I think I shall tell you about my Quilt-as-you-go project. So this Quilt-as-you-go project, which is to make a couple of cushion covers for the camper van, I started probably about a year ago, and it's been a fantastic travelling project to go along with me when I've been away in the camper van, because I just take a few of the squares and all the fabric and turn them into the little quilted squares, and honestly they're so lovely to work on. If you haven't tried Quilt-as-you-go and you like a little bit of hand sewing, then I really recommend that you have a go. I just love it. It's just like it's a little soft, comforting thing to hold in your hand, and it's just, I love it. And the lovely thing is that although I've worked on it away in the camper van, when I've been working on the squares at home, sometimes I've had a flashback to a beautiful place that we've been parked where I've been sewing the squares, and that same memory comes back into my head. So it's really nice. Anyway, I finally got all of the squares made. I think I told you that. And I've just started sewing them together. So I got my first set of squares for the season of, I don't know what was the first one I did, can't remember. But anyway, I got them all out, and I have to have a 6x6 square for the cushion covers. And I spent ages moving things around so that it looked random. So obviously it's not random because I've been placing them, particularly I don't want two the same next to each other, or too close to each other or anything. So yeah, I've had fun placing the arrangement there, but then I realised that it wasn't any longer a very portable project, because I couldn't really take my whole the whole board with all the separate squares on with me. And I did think about, like I did with my diary cover, that I could number the rows and things, but actually the stickers weren't sticking on very well for that, so I abandoned that. I did try pinning them together, and then I still thought, no, they could just easily come apart when I'm travelling with them. So my solution has just been to create myself a travelling project by sewing together 9 squares at a time. And so I need 4 squares to make a cushion cover. And then I've just put one sticker on the middle and said that this is the bottom right part of the cushion cover, and that'll be easy to work out which bits to sew together. So yes, so I've done try not to get the sticker could fall off easily, I think. So I've done there's 2 for the summer one, for example. So this says bottom left and that says bottom right as I look at it. So then I'll know that when I'm away I need to sew these 2 bits together. and then find the other ones. I haven't done the other ones. So that's half of the summer side of the cushion cover. Then I've done all of the autumn ones. So that's all of the autumn ones. And then I've done all of the, oh, that was the first one I did, the spring ones. I've done all 4 spring ones. There we go. And yes, so then I can just take them away in this pouch here, which is brilliant. I've never had a pouch like this with a see-through front, but it's perfect for fitting these in and carrying with me, and then hopefully I won't lose the stickers, because that would be a bit sad. Although I have taken photos obviously of my layout, so if the stickers fell off I could still find out which way I wanted to arrange them. So yeah, so that's that. And maybe you know, by the end of the summer I might have that all sewn together and the cushion covers finished. That'll be nice. So that's those. So next, I think we'll go on to cats. No, I'll leave the cats till last. Let's have a look at the miniature haberdashery shop. I have been having such a lot of fun and a lot of hours making tiny things. The whole house shelving unit, if you remember, if you've seen it before, has an upstairs and a downstairs, and decided, because the upstairs is one big room more or less, it's got a divider, but that can be the shop, and then downstairs there's 2 rooms, and one of the rooms is going to be the room where the animals gather for their knit and natter or craft club or whatever, and then the other tiny little room I decided to make into a bedroom. So I'm going to show you a little video of how I've put together the bedroom, and also I'm going to follow that straight away with some more of the tiny things that I've been making. So you'll have seen from the video that some of the things that I've made are just my own ideas of how to create something, and some of them I have actually bought. I bought things, and I also have used some Etsy shops that sell printable PDFs of tiny things that you can cut out and make into boxes or bands to go around a wall and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's quite a mixture of things. I just, but I do love those tiny little project bags. I think they're one of my favourite things I've made so far. And I will come back to the haberdashery shop to show you. Eventually we'll be putting everything into the shop, and I can't wait to put everything together. I've got various little bits of furniture in there that I already had, plus my new shop counter and a till. I had to buy a till. Decided I could have tried to make a till, but I saw a really nice one and decided to have that. So yes, so that's the haberdashery. And finally today I'm going to talk about the book here, Victorian Housecats to Knit, which I did show you briefly the last time I was talking about crafty things, and I'd started making one of the cats. So I really love this book. I love it for the aesthetics of it, really. And I like the way each chapter has got a beautiful bit of old style wallpaper or old tiles or whatever. So it just looks lovely. When you flick through it, it looks really lovely. And I like the fact, and I didn't realise this was going to be the case, that most of the cats are pretty much life size. So if you make one, it is going to, it can sit on your knee or on the settee and almost be like a real cat. And I think it is mostly, most of the patterns you need to be quite an experienced knitter or be very willing to be patient and to learn. There's no reason why you can't learn to do these more complicated things. There's so many complex shapings in these cats, and I'm going to show you in the whole book shortly. I've made a little video to show you the pages rather than me try and hold them up or flick through with my video. I've actually made a video of some of the pages of the book so I can show you properly what I'm talking about. But before I show you that, I'll just tell you about the cats that I've been making. And the first one, which I did show you, was this one here, which is the silver tabby, this one. There's a lot I like about it, and there are some things I don't like about it. First of all, I have to say, if you use this book, read the instructions, all the notes before the pattern starts really carefully, because I was confused for a while about colour changes until I read that it said, unless it says use another colour, just use the main colour. So, if I'd read that first, I would have been fine. I love the overall shape of this cat. Especially love the legs here and the little elbows at the back. That is just so cute. And the front paws look lovely as well. And the thing I don't like is that the shape of the head seems to be wrong, and I have a feeling that might be my fault. I think I would really, really like to make another one of these and see whether it was my fault that the head just seems too round. And I don't like the way the wraps, where you have to wrap the yarn around another stitch so that you don't get holes, and the wrap and turn technique helps you get the shaping if you don't know about wrap and turn. But because we're using two colours, the wraps, all of these wraps here, especially these ones here, are in the contrast colour, so they show up against the darker colour, and I don't know, it just doesn't look as neat as I would like it to. And yes, so that's the other thing, the head, the wraps, and oh yes, also I think I've gone wrong on one of the front paws, because this one has an elbow in the right place, but this one seems to have the elbow on the side, so I don't know what I did wrong there. I am, I think, going to make another one of these to see if I can do a better job of it. But this cat is going to go to a new home anyway. My sister is a great cat lover, and so she's going to give this one a home. She's always, all through the years, if I've ever not been very happy with something I've made, and I say, oh, I'm just going to throw it out. I'm just going to throw it out and start again. No, I'll have it. And so she's got, she must have quite a collection now of kind of rejected, misshapen toys that she loves. Anyway, so she's having this cat. So after this cat, I then decided to make the parlour cat. I decided to do her in Siamese cat colours. I thought she looked lovely. And she is absolutely beautiful. I'm very, very pleased with this cat. I used a different yarn. Oh yes, I think this cat I used King Cole, which was 90% acrylic and 10% alpaca. So it does feel very nice. This one I have used Yarn Smith's Pebble Haze, but it's different construction. The King Cole that I used was very, I think you call it lofty, so it was very soft and came apart in, oh, it didn't come apart, but when you pull it apart, it's not very tightly twisted. Maybe that's what it is. Whereas this Yarn Smith's Pebble Haze is one of those yarns that is really like a very, very tiny knitted strand, like a little knitted I-cord, but very fine. This was Aran weight that I used actually for this, and it feels beautiful. It was lovely to knit with. I've used thread for the whiskers. I forgot to say that as well. It's not quite thick enough. I was looking for my thicker, extra strong thread and I couldn't find it anywhere. So these are a little bit, well, they're a bit floppy, I suppose. Not too bad though. Same with this one here. So there we go. So that's the parlour cat. And then I had spotted in the book that there was a mini parlour cat. I thought, oh, I think the mini haberdashery shop might like to have a cat. So I made one of those. Well, it is so cute. Look at that. Tiny little cat. And it is intended to be the right scale for having in a doll's house, so like a 1/12 scale doll's house. So there we go. I absolutely love that. And I have made another one as well, this is going to be a gift for somebody. And on this one, actually, when I made the tail, it would not curl around, whereas this one will sit with the tail curled around, and this one didn't. It just stuck out straight from the back, so I've actually sewed it to the body there. And so yeah, so lovely little cats. I used Drops alpaca 4-ply for those and 2.25mm needles. So that was it. And then I have just finished another cat, life-size one, and here he is, or she, I don't know. This is the Fireside cat. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, the shaping of all of these cats in the book is just wonderful. Very, very lifelike. Obviously, the author, who's called Sarah Elizabeth Kellner, is very familiar with cats. And so this was, yeah, very interesting shaping, but it just looks very natural. Yeah, so there's a lot of shaping to get this curled up cat shape. And I used the Yarn Smith's Pebble Haze yarn for this cat. I didn't like how the wrapped stitches showed up, or some of the wrapped stitches showed up. There was a particular line of stitches that I've no idea why they were so obvious. I didn't do them any differently to all of the other wrap and turns in the pattern, but yeah, anyway, so I actually sewed them up a little bit. You can still see them, but yeah, I sewed them up a little bit so they weren't so obvious. So there we go. I think that's all I wanted to say about the cats. So I'm going to show you inside the book now. So I made a little video where I read a little bit of the introduction and one or two things, and then there'll be a little bit of piano music while I show you all of the different cats that are in the book, and I'll come back after that to say goodbye. In the introduction to the book, Sarah explains that Victorian architecture is well known for several things, but one of the most interesting is the idea that each room of the large upper-class home should be used for only one purpose. In this book, it's not the purpose, but a particular inhabitant of the rooms that we're most interested in. It is believed that it was the Victorians who were responsible for changing attitudes towards domestic animals, particularly cats. Queen Victoria herself commissioned artists to paint pictures of her family cats. Cats became status symbols and an important part of the family and everyday life. It is not unimaginable, then, with all those rooms at their disposal and their desire to control what went on in them, that Victorians would have assigned a particular cat to a particular room or family member, at least insofar as the cat would let them. And all the patterns in the book take us through the different rooms of the house, and we not only meet the cats, but also different members of the household. For example, Mrs. Winifred Morgan here, whose cat is a marmalade cat, and she loves the orange marmalade that the cook makes each winter. We find out about the parlour and the cat who slinks into the parlour whenever he feels like it, even though the parlour is only really used on Sundays and on special occasions. We hear about Emily, who's 15 years old, and she's taken piano lessons since she was 5, become an accomplished pianist, and she holds herself to a strict practice schedule and plays for guests in the parlour on Sundays. The Morgan children have a doll's house in the nursery, which over the years has accumulated an abundance of dolls, furnishings and household accessories. Emily has made tiny braided rugs and needle-pointed cushions for the bedrooms. The twins have painted miniature artwork for the walls, and Mrs. Morgan, being a knitter, came up with a tiny knitting pattern modelled after the cat who lives in their own parlour. So there we are, a beautiful book. It's lovely just to look through, and it's definitely the patterns are they're very accessible, really, as long as you've got a bit of experience. And there's not a lot of little diagrams to show this is where you should be picking up or anything like that. Like, you do have to read very carefully what to do. But because they're mostly knitted on 4 needles in the round or in a circular, there's not very much flat knitting involved in these cats. Then there's very little sewing up afterwards. So unlike the Peter Rabbit book, dare I mention it, where it's so complicated on how you sew it all together, these are, it's not really involved. There was just occasional separate things. Well, in fact, the tails are not even knitted separately. The ears are knitted separately. On this cat here, this arm is knitted separately and you have to sew it on. But otherwise, yeah, it's lovely. Quite a challenge to stuff, I have to say. You have to be very, very sympathetic to the shaping. And this one in particular, I found quite hard to make sure I was getting the right shape. But they're a lovely challenge, and the finished cats are just beautiful. If you like cats, then it's definitely worth considering this book. But I'm going to stop chattering on now and I will see you again very soon. But until then, take great care of yourself and keep nice and busy. Bye.